So, we might have a new kicker. Well, for kickoff specialist kicker, not Monty Mack, because he's not going to be our KOS kicker, kickoff specialist kicker. He's going to just be our field goal kicker. So, as it says right here, coming in from Paul, shout out to Paul for this article as always, New York Times. The kicker, Monty Mack, doesn't plan to participate in tackling drills anytime soon. Linebacker Logan Wilson offered a reminder that he kicked throughout high school. Indeed, everyone has a thought of the new NFL kickoff, one of the most alterations to the game in generations. And this is the difference, if you are wondering. We have the setup zone, the start line zone, kicker over here, and then you have the landing zone, which is from the 20 to the end zone. Now, if once the ball is kicked off, no one's allowed to move until the person in the landing zone actually fields the ball. If they let it go through the end zone after it hits in the landing zone, you get the ball at the 20-yard line. If you kick the ball through the end zone, the opposing team gets the ball at the 30-yard line. So the point is, you want the team to return the ball. Problem is that you don't want this X right here, the kicker, to be a liability. So if he kicks the ball off and whoever the guy returns the ball here, let's say this triangle here, gets past all of these guys, the kicker is the last line of defense. So you want that to be, in theory, a linebacker, a safety, something like that. The Chiefs, for example, are going with Justin Reed as their KOS guy because you want to have someone who can make a tackle. So this whole article is talking about, and just a summary here, is our special teams coordinator. And he's talking about his thought process with the new kickoff and how he wants to kind of go with the new kickoff rule. He said, it consumes my minds. It consumes my thoughts. And it really does. I'm sure this is not just our special teams coordinator, but across the board, every special team coordinator. Because this is now a huge part of the game. You have to think about how you're going to block your blocking scheme, right? How are you going to set up your guys to get a good return? And obviously, you can't really do anything until after the ball was caught by your own player. That's number one for the receiving team. But for the kicking team, it's even more thought out and diabolical. Because do you want to kick it to the left sideline? Do you want to kick it to the right? Do you want to kick it toward the middle? You know, how are you going to do it where you maybe have a little bit more hang time so you can get down there and make a tackle and make a play on the ball carrier before he's able to make a huge play or huge return? And, again, using players like Logan Wilson, Justin Reed as kickoff guys so that you can avoid any problems. Because, again, all the kicker has to do here, whoever kicks the ball, has to kick it from the 35-yard line where they have a 5-yard run up and they can run full speed. They have to kick it all the way from there to around the 20 to 10-yard line. So they have this whole area right here to go ahead and kick it to. That's all they have to, in theory, do. So, if you have a guy like Logan Wilson who played kicker in high school, he can, in theory, kick the field. I mean, he can kick the kickoff, right? He's not going to kick the field goal. That's a little bit more about accuracy because, you know, with the field goal, you have a little area you have to kick through. This is, you have a whole entire field. And as long as you kick it in this area, you're fine. He said one thing that is most important, I don't think you want to stray too far from what you do. Yes, it's a huge change, but I don't want to put too much pressure on the fact it is still football and it's still blocking and tackling, just with a twist. And that is also true at the end of the day, because now there's no more fair catches. This is actually as straightforward football as you can get. Like, this is as cookie cutter, copy and paste football as you can get. I kick the ball to you, you can't do anything but return it, and I have to tackle you. That's all it is. So I do agree with that very much. I think it's, you know, again, a process that's going to be determining a lot of different games, though, because you have to return now. Cutting down a little bit farther down into this article, he said, we tried to put it together a little bit of a plan because when our players came back, you got to say something in You have got to have something in the playbook. We put down what we thought we could put down. A couple of things became very apparent. I thought would be one way, but there's always the unforeseen things that rear their heads and into your thoughts about. Okay, apparently I cannot read it now. Is always the unforeseen things that rear their head you thought about, but didn't give enough credence to that show up. So we made adjustments the next time we did kickoff returns. Then we made more adjustments after that. So kind of taking it one step at a time throughout the whole entire process. Which again, like I said, I'm sure this is something it's not an overnight process, right? Something you're going to have to kind of go throughout the whole entire OTAs, mini camp, training camp, and then preseason. And then, you get right into the season and you hope everything kind of works out in the end. So he sees Money Mac as being the guy throughout, as with all aspects of this play, he's still investigating. We actually have a couple guys that hit some balls after practice yesterday that was intriguing to look at. Ooh, we got a competition. We got a little competition going on here. Problem becomes about practice. That's not enough time for a position player to perfect the kicks in the same way having a backup quarterback be the holder is ineffective because there's not enough time to build chemistry in the process with the kicker. That is true. You only have so much time allocated to processing, and you can't have, like, let's say Logan Wilson, for example. He needs to go out there and process and, do this, that, and third for his own position. If you have him out there the whole entire process kicking kickoffs, you don't have enough time, right? So that is also another factual thing here. So who are all the players? Because other than Logan Wilson, I haven't seen too many players being talked about at all. But I'm guessing also they're probably going to ask as many players as they can, to go out there and attempt it just to see if it will work out in the end or not. Because at the end of the day, you can never have too many options, right? We're going to have Logan Wilson as our kickoff guy. Which also is another thing that, and it's just a little side note here, that means if there ever is an injury, knock on wood, it doesn't happen, but to like Money Mac or something, we in theory have a backup who is going to be a linebacker. Comment down below your thoughts and opinions, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one.